Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. But in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Taurus and Scorpio on Tuesdays. And the deck that I'm using today is called the Mystical Mondays Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description below. Also, just as a final heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they jump out. If they jump out in groups that are a little bit too big, I'll put them back. But the goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your overall energy. All right, Taurus. So I do want to take this opportunity to remind you guys that if you enjoy the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is that of the Nine of Swords. Now, I feel like a lot of you guys are in that state of mind where you're very anxious, you're very worried, and you're very sort of staying up at night worrying about the situation, right? And that's it's very weird and mixed energy because we have some really good cards here. The Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Wands with the Four of Wands, like it looks really good, but there's sort of like this weird sort of lingering energy almost. It's strange because I see the Four of Wands in the upright, and then I see the Ten of Wands in the, or rather the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, right? So, Ten of Wands, I keep saying Ten of Wands, even though I don't mean to. So I feel like perhaps some of you guys are in this Nine of Swords energy due to the fact that you feel like people depend on you and you just have so many things on your plate. I'm guessing that a lot of you guys are having a hard time really focusing in on this relationship because of that. I feel like a lot of you guys might be the financial providers in the living arrangements that you're at. But like I was saying, the Four of Wands sort of promises with it some kind of a commitment or some kind of a level up, right? So when I see the Four of Wands, I usually know that the relationship is going to level up in some kind of a way. The fact that the Ten of Pentacles is in reverse leads me to believe that there's some kind of anxiety, probably related to this Nine of Swords, due to the home life. Like I was saying, I feel like you guys are probably the predominant financial suppliers at your house, and that's why there's sort of this Ten of Pentacles energy in reverse, because the Ten of Pentacles is my happy home card, you know, the happy wife, happy life card, I like to call it. So the fact that it's in reverse leads me to believe that, you know, there's the worry or the anxiety of the situation not working out. I feel like for some of you, you might be going in on an apartment together, and that's sort of what the issue is here, because like if sometimes it can be kind of dicey getting into a relationship and then going off living together, because if there's a messy breakup, then there becomes the problem of the leases and whose name is where and all that. But I feel like that's kind of you guys thinking about it from like a more practical realm, whereas this person is thinking about it from a very sort of dreamy area, right? Because I see the Four of Wands and the Four of Cups and the Knight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, and all those cards to me symbolize somebody who wants to come forth and in a very dreamy, ideally state, right? Because like I was saying earlier, this is commitment. And the Four of Wands to me can sometimes mean like not being entirely happy with the way the situation is, but the way that I interpret that is that this person wants more with you, especially since there's the Four of Wands. So this is strong wanting to commit energy, right? Like even just looking at this, This person I feel like has been through the whole like three-party situation deal, and it ain't for them, and that's why they're trying to manifest this fourth cup with you, along with the four wands here. And like this Knight of Wands can sometimes be very much like a, you know, it gets a bad rap for being like a player energy or coming in and coming out. But I feel like this is almost a reformed person. I feel like that perhaps may have been them in the past, but now they're wanting to sort of scrap all that past energy and sort of give you possibly some justice that they haven't in the past, especially if you guys have some history with this person. Perhaps they haven't treated you the best in the past, or there was some kind of an issue, and this card here leads me to believe that they want to make it right, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, because these are the Justice and the Wheel of Fortune are two cards for me that can oftentimes mean setting the record straight or doing things the right way or doing things right. So I certainly get that this person might be coming back and they're saying, hey, let's do things right this time. Like set up our boundaries, this, that, and the other. And I feel like to some extent you like the idea. Like I was saying, they're in a very dreamy state, this person. So certainly they're coming forth with things that sound nice, but I feel like you're thinking about it from a more practical realm. And you're a little bit more in your head about it than they are. They're ready to come forth with the flowers and I've got 2 tickets to movie this Saturday or whatever. But you're over here thinking, well, what about the finances? Can I trust them? Like, have they changed? Have I done all my healing, right? Because that's what these cards sort of mean. And I feel like you guys are just not entirely on the same page because there's so much anxiety here on your side. And I feel like in part, that's due to maybe what they've done in the past, because I'm seeing the Justice in reverse. So I don't think that this person has possibly treated you the best in the past. So it's with good reason. You know, if I see the Justice in reverse and the Seven of Swords together, like, that's not the best. It's not painting the best picture of the other person. Certainly this energy could be someone else, but like, even just looking at the depiction of this card, like this woman has a sword behind her back that she's probably going to use to backstab someone. And the Hanged Man, to me, isn't always the greatest card. Because asking to sort of change your perspective can be very difficult. I feel like that's one of those things where it's easier said than done, and you're so like fixated on the idea and perhaps what they're putting forward that it's hard to look away from it and hard to sort of think from the more practical sides. And I feel like that has certainly been you in the past. But because the Hanged Man here is in reverse, it's almost as if you need to not lose sight of who you are. I'm getting those words, the words who you are. That's a message for someone, for sure. But I feel like for the most of you, don't lose sight of the healing that you were doing, and don't lose sight of this situation that you were handling earlier. So like I was saying earlier in the reading, like you might not have entirely open space to put this person into your life, and that's no fault of you or fault of them. But for sure, like if you're going to start a relationship of some kind, you need to be able to make time for them and have sort of that opportunity and space for the relationship to grow. And certainly if you're in that mindset and you have that space, then I say go for it. But don't forget about your healing. I feel like this is almost 2 sides of the reading, right? So this person and you, and I feel like to some extent you're mirroring each other, because a lot of these cards are in reverse, sort of like facing each other. And I feel like in particular, I'm drawn to this Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Wands combo, because the Nine of Wands to me talks about the wounded warrior, and I feel like the fact that it's in reverse leads me to believe that you're not really working a whole lot on your healing. But like this Wheel of Fortune has sort of this amplifying effect. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I feel like a lot of your healing is going to be done fairly quickly and fairly largely, and this is going to sort of bring that to the forefront. And I feel like it's going to be a catalyst for you to sort of work through some stuff that you may not have been entirely wanting to face. But like I do see that you're going to like, this side is just as much yours as it is for them. In the sense that the energy here also affects you. So it's not just like positivity on their side and negativity on your side. I'm getting that you're sort of gonna inherit some of that positive energy, but like not in a way that you're dependent on them or anything like that. I just feel like this energy that you're in right now has been sort of brought upon you due to external circumstances, and you're working to work past those. And once you do, I feel like you guys are going to be in a great place to start a relationship. But maybe this could be like one of those things where it's like, right person, like wrong time kind of a thing. But I think it's just all up to you, because I'm getting a lot of confused, sort of like messy energy. And I feel like it really just does depend on what you decide and what you want to work towards, because I'm getting that you can work towards a lot of things and probably multiple things at once. Just be aware of how many things you're working towards and if they're mutually exclusive, and if you have the energy to work towards more than one and all those things. And I feel like you guys are going to be in some great shape. But that was your reading first time around, Taurus. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Taurus videos on Tuesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for next reading.